This is Dave Hart. He's the Executive Managing Director of Newmark Knight Frank, a very large commercial Denver real estate firm. How'd you get from where you started in real estate to
Well,
this?
I started out 34 years ago and started in Chicago and did downtown leasing there, and then moved to San Francisco and did work there with Lincoln Property Company doing ground up development downtown. And then moved here in '91 and have been here since then, focusing on primarily corporate relocations, new build-to-suits, new construction, which is really my background. And Broomfield was really the only area that supported, at the time, new construction. So that's why I focused on the Broomfield market.
And how did you get involved in Interlocken?
I had a building for sale in Lafayette. And with the success of that got into looking at doing new buildings within Interlocken and felt that there was a demand there, and worked with Steve Clark with Prime West. At the time, we developed a couple of brochures, and Steve optioned some land in the park and said, hey, go find us tenants, and once you find a tenant, we'll build it. And we were successful with 2 buildings there, both companies that came out of California. It's been, I guess, 14 buildings since then, and about 2.5 million square feet of spec construction within Interlocken and the Outerlocken market. So the demand has really grown, and that market has grown from growth out of Boulder and then growth from out of state.
So that seems to be the prime area, the Interlocken and that Broomfield area is a very prime area for growth.
It's a 963 acre park, and it's really the pearl or nucleus of Broomfield. It's where all the new construction, where the corporate development, and we're seeing a lot more residential development there now as well. But that's really the hub of the entire Broomfield and actually the Northwest market.
So if you go across the highway towards the airport, the road that goes to DIA, there's a lot of development going on there too. That's part of Broomfield?
It is part of Broomfield. Broomfield annexed land, it goes all the way from Northwest Parkway, Anthem, they're all the way over to I-25 and Highway 7, which is really our answer to the Autobahn, which is really nice because you can always be sure that you're gonna have 30 minutes really from Interlocken, from seat to seat. I mean, really from Interlocken to the airport is 30 minutes. So that's been a big draw for a lot of these companies as well. That, and then also the location where we are centrally located in the United States. So a lot of companies have benefited from that as well.
So the land prices are increasing, would you say? It seems like.
Land prices have increased from the first buildings in the Outerlocken market. The land prices are in the $4 a square foot range, but that was back in the early 90s. You know, recent comps are in the $16 range, that's per square foot. So they have increased as everything else has.
How much more development is there to do in Interlocken?
Actually, if you look at it, it seems like there's plenty and a lot of land, but because of the open space, because of how the park was designed, it's a 963 acre park. There's really only 56 acres of remaining available land in the park. So if you look at last year as an example, there were transactions that totaled about 43 acres. So if we have another year like that, that'll be it. So it's not that far before Interlocken will be built out.
So our experience when we did Viega was that the city and county of Broomfield was fairly easy to work with. Is that your experience, and that'll continue?
As they are a refreshing, great group to work with. They are pro-business. They're realistic. They are very helpful in the process and are very upfront in all the feedback. And I've worked with several developers in the park and in Broomfield over the years, and compared to other city jurisdictions, it is a refreshing experience. So I would definitely endorse Broomfield for any expanding companies.
So they are sort of avant-garde, or are they just, compared to Boulder?
I would say that in most places, yeah. I mean, I think that's part of their their master plan. Broomfield wisely has annexed and picked up additional land for future growth, but as it relates to just Interlocken, there's going to be a little bit more residential multifamily development there. There may be room for some for sale type product, and then room for a few more office buildings.
So 5 years from now, how do you see the city and county of Broomfield?
Well, I think that, continued steady growth. I think you'll see more dense development. The younger workforce is looking at areas where they can take advantage of open space, trail system, affordability. It'd be nice to afford a house.
All right.
And so I think that Broomfield will continue to do well, again, with steady growth. So I think it's positive for sure.
So 36 commuting, which is now just commuting or whatever, we see and we believe in Boulder that transportation is going to be a huge issue for the next 10 years. How do you think that affects?
Well, I think with growth, the transportation is obviously a huge issue. And so I think with that continued growth, you'll see more push towards that. I think the bus system, unfortunately we don't have the light rail system up to Broomfield at this point, but I think the buses do a really good job. I think that it's not too far off that we'll see self-driving cars. I think that will help alleviate, and also with further density of build out where a lot of walkability and bikeability. I know that our buildings, people are talking about parking ratios, but we're also talking about bike parking ratios, bike lockers, showers, and now with the trail system from Boulder all the way down 36 to Interlocken, it's 9 miles. It's a nice little ride in the morning and ride in the afternoon. It's be a great way to commute.
So let's turn to just Denver and the commercial real estate market. Does it feel to you like it's leveling out now, or is it still growing?
I think it depends. There's pockets where if you look at those markets are outperforming the rest of the market. If you dissect downtown Denver, it feels like a totally different market. So I think it really depends on where you're
location.
What you're talking about. Yeah.
So people sort of live and work where they want to live and work instead of being told to by someone else.
Think about when I graduated from college, it was where I went was where I got a job. I ended up working in Chicago. My daughters that have recently graduated from college, this is where we're going to live and we'll find a job. And I think that's true of today's generation. And Colorado has a lot to offer and with quality of life. So I think we'll continue to see more and more of that and the desirability of people to be here. And as a result of that, companies with their buildings and location, really the retention and recruitment is top on their agenda. And there's very few places that can offer the quality of life that we have here, that we enjoy every day.
So 5 to 10 years from now, what's it going to be like in the Denver metro area?
5 years is not that far off.
That's true.
So I think you'll see more growth. I mean, if you look at what fuels Colorado and fuels this market, it's really the coasts. And now we've got a lot, it's been California, but now we've got a lot of international players. You mentioned Vega, which we were fortunate to work on, that came from Germany, represented Partners Group, which is another group that acquired land in Interlocken that's going to build their campus. They are based out of Zug, Switzerland, and kind of an interesting story there, a private equity firm located in Broomfield, Colorado. They closed their San Francisco office, downsizing New York, and the growth is going to be here. Training was a big reason with Vega locating here because they can fly people in from all parts of the country, all parts of the world because of the access with DIA and train here. So Pilatus doing their expansion, so that's another Swiss company. So I think we'll see more and more foreign-based companies. I mean, it's costs, it's quality of life, it's the ability to recruit.
So in Boulder, we now see big money coming to town, what we consider to be big money, because it used to just be, the locals that would buy this, that, and the other thing. And is that also true in the Denver metro area, would you say?
Well, I think you're going to find where there's opportunities, there's money.
Mm-hmm.
And to answer your question, yes. I mean, I think that not only Boulder, not only the Northwest market, but certainly Denver and all of Colorado is considered a tier 1 market now from the investment sales community. And that wasn't always the case.
Right.
It was, San Francisco, Chicago, New York, but that has changed.
Mm-hmm. So cap rates. I mean, I can remember when cap rates 10% was a good cap rate, but now are we going to get to 2 and 3 caps?
Not on the office side of things, I don't think. You might see that in some residential plays, but cap rates now are in the 6, 7, maybe 8, depending on product and location. I don't think we'll see them that low. I mean, I think that you're seeing a lot of these recent high-priced acquisitions downtown that are, in the 5s, and a lot of that is foreign-based money.
Right.
Those returns are not what we typically look for, but we're also looking really short time horizons as opposed to a European-based, which might be looking at a 20-year horizon. So those types of returns over time make sense.
Right.
And what's the alternative? If you're looking at a 2-3% return in Germany, how does a 6% return look in Colorado?
Do you have anything else or anything for me or us? Or?
No, I appreciate the
we appreciate
our
it.
relationship,
Yeah.
over the years, and look forward to doing more deals together. And we're open for business. We got other buildings that are slated to be built.
Yeah, I can only say that he was a joy to work with, and you can't say that about all the Denver commercial real estate people. But what an incredibly neat man.
Oh, thank you.
David.
Appreciate it.
No, thank you very much. So, Dave, if people want to reach you to do transactions or to learn about real estate,
I'm open and available.
All right,
I'm
and
24 hour a day,
All right.
7 day a week.
That's better than me.
Yeah.
So, where do people reach you?
You can reach me. Email is dhart, Hart, at ngkf.com, or you can reach me by phone 303-638-8006.